It's been about a month since I last had a gear review video, so here we are. And I'm going to try to knock out a few reviews today, put them all up at once. I'm going to start with the Benchmade 808 Loco. This is a new knife for 2015 from Benchmade, was announced at SHOT Show 2015 and is now available. There are a few models that Benchmade announced at SHOT Show that still aren't available, but this is one of the first ones to get released. I got a first production model, 631 out of 1,000. It's on the blade as well. Let's put the box away. There you go, 631 out of 1,000. This is a pretty large knife. So, some interesting things about this Benchmade Loco. It's got actually the access lock, but the access lock is a little bit larger. If I can get the camera to focus in. Access lock is a little bit larger and is a little bit different in styling, as well as that pivot and those standoffs in the back spacers, or no, back standoffs. A little bit different styling, and it also has oval thumb deployment. Specs on this knife. Now you can actually deploy this pretty quickly. It just requires a little practice. You can always flip it out with the access lock. Let's see, so you have a 3.68 inch blade. You have G10 handles, black G10 handles. These aren't highly textured, these are pretty smooth G10 handles. So you're not going to get a lot of traction with those. Let's see. Model number is 808. It's really hard to see. It's printed really small on there. It is an S30V steel. Weight, let's see. The weight is 6.56 ounces. It's a pretty heavy knife, but I'll tell you, I've been carrying this for about 2-3 weeks now at my job, and it doesn't feel that heavy. I don't know if it's just the way that it's balanced or whatnot, but it's got a good deep carry pocket clip as well. You have a lanyard hole, which is a nice tube spacer there. It goes all the way through. Not just like a cutout in the G10 for your lanyard. It's actually a little stainless steel tube spacer. And it's got a unique shape for Benchmade too. It's this kind of curved, contoured handle. You have no jimping though on the blade or on the handles, which is different for Benchmade. Even though they usually don't put jimping on the blade steel there, they usually have it, the little inset liners. You do have stainless steel liners in between the G10, and I don't know if you can see inside, but they did attempt to mill out some of the stainless steel liners to save on weight, because for a little over 6.5 ounces, it's light for what it is, because this is a pretty thick blade. I'll have some comparisons soon. You got a neat kind of like reverse Tonto style blade, but this feels very solid. There is no play whatsoever in this blade. I've had a few of my Benchmade knives with the access lock develop a little bit of blade play. I've been using this for a few weeks and I can't detect any. I don't know if it's because it's a nice new access lock design. Well, it's not really new, but it's a larger access lock than in other Benchmades, but just seems to lock up a lot more solidly. The pocket clip is a nice deep carry pocket clip by Benchmade. Even it's deep carry, but you still got basically the lanyard hole sticking out when you carry this in your pocket, because the clip goes to there. It is reversible, right or left side, but it's only tip up. No tip down. Typical if you have an access lock and a Benchmade. But it's got a good feel. When you get the technique down, it's a nice deployment, and this contoured handle is very comfortable. Would be nice to have a little jimping here, but your thumb does rest on there pretty well. But yeah, it's very ergonomic. It's hard to describe, but very nice. Would be nice if they had different colors. Let's see, price from Blade HQ is about $204. So it's not a cheap knife. No Benchmade is. They do have a black version and a serrated version for both the black coating and the satin version. This is a nice satin stone wash. I've kind of grown accustomed to satin stone wash blades versus black coated blades. Used to like more black coated blades. I don't know, I just really like some of the stone wash that they do. So you got S30V steel in $204. Sounds like a lot, but you get a lot of S30V steel in this. And this knife is pretty thick actually. So 3.6 inches about. It's close to maybe a zero tolerance 560 or 561 in length. So it's a big knife. This handle goes down a little bit past 561. Is lighter, but again, titanium scale, G10 side. This is lighter. About the same price, I think, now, because these dropped on Blade HQ to about, I think, $200. So that's comparison for maybe the blade length. Let's see, 950 Rift. That have a similar blade profile. A little bit different. Of course, this is Warren Osborne design. This is designed in-house at Benchmade by one of their designers in Benchmade. This is also S30V steel. But let's give a little comparison here. Look at the blade thickness. The 808 Loco just, it's got a real thick blade. All the way down to where the end of the grind there. And I was trying to think of what I had at hand that would compare to that. The only thing I could think of was my Azula 2 by Essie. And look at that. They're pretty close. And this is a fixed blade meant for outdoor use and whatnot. And look at how close in thickness those are. Different steels, of course, but yeah, gives you an idea. This is pretty beefy blade. So I haven't really hard used test this or anything, but I'm sure it wouldn't have any problems. But amazingly, for the weight and the size, I don't know if it's just the pocket clip design or just how the weight's distributed throughout this knife. When I carry this, it does not feel like a big knife. It does not feel as light as, of course, a ZT 561, but it doesn't feel as heavy as it seems. And of course, when you pull out a pocket and you get in hand, you feel the weight. But when you're carrying it, it carries nicely. So you can use it for everyday carry if you want. It's kind of a big blade for that. Tactical use. Overall, pretty neat knife. Would be neat if they had maybe different colored standoffs. These standoffs are unique too. They're these kind of like contoured flat pieces of steel. I don't know how to describe them, but you know, they're not the normal like tube spacers here like we got at the back. I'm not sure if I would prefer thumb studs or not. Might make deployment a little easier, but then again, this is a pretty big blade, and if you want to open it slower or quietly, it allows for that too. And like with all axis locks and Benchmade, it's easy to close back up, especially for someone like me who is left-handed. Yeah, it's fun. And you can also do the axis lock deployment and pull back on the, not worried about hitting stuff, but pull back on the axis lock and deploy it that way. Let me see, I can do this side. There we go. So you can sit here and play with it, open it up. So, Benchmade 808 Loco, available at Blade HQ, other retailers as well. Pretty neat knife. Different, new design by Benchmade. Bigger axis lock, kind of decorative pivot and standoffs, and neat reverse tanto blade. And you got the S30V steel, which seems to be the standard in a lot of knives now that are coming out. So good steel. Nice black G10 handles. Would be neat to have different colors, but then again, this is just getting released, and Benchmade has to see how it does before they try to release anything else. So there you go, Benchmade 808 Loco from the black class of Benchmade. I know they just apparently changed the style of boxes through Benchmade, so this is now the old style of boxes. But since I got this in first production, I still have the old style of the box. So there you go, 808 Loco. If you have any questions, comment down below. That'll be it.